I'm going to make a video on how to make a COMcheck. What is a COMcheck? A COMcheck is a form from the Department of Energy that we fill out where we state that the building design complies with their requirements. So the first thing is we got to open COMcheck. It's not on the list, so COMcheck right there. There's a book called the International Energy Conservation Code that tells you what it is you have to do and the efficiency of windows, the efficiency of the water heater and all that. And so it tells you what to do. Basically, you always comply because nobody sells you a water heater that doesn't comply, and nobody sells you a light fixture that doesn't comply because nobody would buy them. So you can do this in the plans and put all this information. Yes, we comply with this and that and the other. Or you can just get this Department of Energy form where it says you did it. As always, I'm going to go back to a project that we did in the past. But this time, I'm not going to concentrate so much on whether it's a similar project or not, but more on the information in this area here, which needs to be populated. So it's a whole bunch of information, and rather than type it all in, I'm just going to find a project that was done by the same architect or owner and is done by the same designer, in this case me, and so all that information is populated. It saves me a little bit of time. This one was for somebody named Buford Design Build. So I'm going to go to my projects in 2017 and find the Buford Design Build folder. And I know I did one for Southern Fence. And there's the COMcheck folder. So I'll copy the COMcheck folder. And this time, I'm going to paste it into a project called 208 Carteret Street. Paste it there. And then we're going to go and change the name of the file. So I'm going to copy that 208 Carteret Street. And then go into the COMcheck folder and change that. But actually, I just remember that this project isn't really called 208 Carteret Street. It has a different name. So let's go see what that is. I'm going to open one of the drawings for this project. And they actually called it Homes Finder. 208 Carteret Street. Homes Finder. That's a real estate company. They call themselves Homes Finder. So I'm just going to call it that. That way it matches the plans. So when I come over to instead of Southern Fence, I'm going to call it Homes Finder. Homes Finder COMcheck, and that's the printout. The PDF file is the printout. And the other one is the actual. Oops. And the other one is the actual file. So, and now that we're done, I'm going to open that file. I'm going to go find it. And it's on 2018 something. 208 Carteret. COMcheck. Homes Finder COMcheck. All right, so it populates. I go to the edit project details, and you see what I was talking about. The architect information is on there. This time I work for the same company, but a different guy named Trip Armstrong, I believe. I think, yeah, Trip Armstrong right there. So Trip Armstrong, I just copy that and put it on the COMcheck. There we go. Design and contractor, that's me. So that information is already populated. So I'll save myself a little time by not having to do all of that. I do have to change the project name, Homes Finder, 208 Carteret Street, and the city is Buford. No, 902. All right, so that's populated. Then we go about, and you know, if I did a project that was in Buford, so that's just already populated. It's then here, the next thing it asks you. So we go through the tabs. The first one's project. It asks you what type of construction it is. New construction, addition of alterations. This is an actual alteration. So we'll change that. And it gives me a warning that it says some of the input that was previously entered maybe um, ignored because it was more relevant to new construction or whatever. So it warns me about that. But I continue anyways, and let's see what happens. So I'm done with this one, and so I'm going to describe the project. It's only an office. This like the project I did before had an office or warehouse, so I'm going to delete the warehouse part of it. And all you do is enter the square footage. So I'm going to have to open that drawing um, and find out the square footage. I know that I always do square footage on the mechanical plan, so I'm going to go and open the HVAC plan, go to the model space, and in here somewhere I'll have square footage. I could have the whole thing, and I guess I didn't do the whole thing. Maybe I did. Yeah, there it is. I'm going to list that, and it's 2,602 square feet. So I come over here and at a 0.6, I'm going to round it to 2. And that's it. Exterior lighting areas, it asks me where am I putting lights outside. So I'm going to do, and here, if you click on this arrow here, then you can select what type of entry. First type of entry is the main door. Main entry, that thing I believe was, let's see, it's 3 feet. And then there's a back entry that's 6 feet. So 3 feet of main entry, and then other entry, other door, not main entry, 6 feet. All right, so in this, for just to make sure that I don't lose this work, I'm going to save it. The envelope tab is the architectural, so we really do not care much about that. Well, the 3 tabs we take care about is the interior lighting, the exterior lighting, and the mechanical. So interior lighting, what is that? We go to the lighting plan, and we count fixtures. I'm going to open the electrical plan sheet E201, and we count light fixtures. So light fixture A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. There's 22 A's. And I need to know what wattage they are. 30. So what basically this tells me is some reason it believes it fails. That I fell by a bunch. And the reason is I probably mistyped something here. It's not 260, and that's why. So I screwed up when I try to edit that number of the square footage. It's 2601, so I missed the one. 2601. What basically it says, I have 2,600 square feet. I'm allowed 1 watt per square foot of lighting. If I exceed that wattage, then I don't comply. But right now I have 22 times 30, which is somewhere around 900, and I'm allowed. Oh yeah, well, I guess I don't know how to multiply. 22 times 30 is 660. I'm allowed 2,600, so I'm in good shape right now. Let's count fixture B. And how you do this, you add a fixture. I had a fixture A. and it's an LED fixture. And there's all other descriptions here, but usually the ones I pick are not on the list, so I select other. The important part is this one lamp or light bulb per fixture, or the number of fixtures in the wattage. This is what really you care about, not so much the description. Fixture B is very similar to fixture A, so I could just copy it. Let's go look and see what fixture B is. Let's count them first. There's not that many of those. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 11 Bs, and the wattage is the same because I picked some generic fixture. 11 at 30. You can add a fixture. It's an LED fixture. It calls it LED2 automatically. I do other. Call one lamp per fixture. There's 11 of them, and they use 30 watts each. Now we're up to 990. And then just over here, I'll type B because we're counting fixture Bs. And it keeps track of it for me. It says I'm passing so far by. It doesn't say the percentage right now, but all right. So fixture C. Let's count fixture C's. Where are fixture C's? There's 2 of them. 1, 2. There's something mounted on the pole. 2 fixture C's, and at 30. Like I said, I can create a new one or just copy this one. So I'm going to duplicate row this time and just change it a little bit. This is LED fixture 3, fixture description C. There's only 2 of them. So now I'm up to 1050 versus my 2601. Fixture D. Fixture D. Fixture D. Where is the fixture D? There's one. It's just what used to be called fluorescent fixture, a utility fixture in this little storage room. And this one uses 50 watts. So I'm going to copy it again. LED 4, fixture D. There's one, it uses 50 watts. The fixture E's, I reserve those for emergency at exit, so there's nothing that starts with E. So we'll jump to fixture F. I think fixture F is the outdoor fixtures. So there they are. So we don't enter those on the interior tab. We enter those on the exterior tab. So there's 5 Fs. And as I mentioned here, the E's are for emergency. Again, 30 watts. So when I go up here, I go to exterior lighting. And I'm going to delete a couple of things. So the main entry has, and I want to stay counting in the same order. So we had A, B, C, and D. So it's 1 through 4. The E's are not used. So this is fixture F, LED 5, fixture F, capital F. There's 1 light bulb per fixture. In the front, there's 3, and they use 30 watts. I'm going to use the same fixture for the side entry. So it'll be the same fixture. LED 5. I kind of didn't erase that. So F, right there and right there. Again, this is similar to what I did before. And in the back, there's 2 fixtures at 30 watts. Let's double check that. One, 2. So we're done entering information for the lighting. So what it says to me is interior lighting passes. It complies with all the requirements. And exterior passes. Let's just say, because it has the energy code information in there. Let's say we use a fixture that's not very efficient, that uses 900 watts. and you see how that fails. Well, there's no nut fixture anymore that uses 900 watts because don't make them. And so it's very difficult to fail unless you put too many lights. If you put too many lights, something's not right. So far we have done interior lighting, it's complete, which passes. Exterior lighting is complete, which also passes. And now we got to do the mechanical. What is the mechanical tab? This is where we enter air conditioning information, the type of unit and that sort of thing. So we got to open sheet M001 to get the information from there. From this table, we're basically going to pluck out the information on heating and cooling and the efficiency. Let's do it. We're going to talk about the HVAC system. It's a heat pump, a split system heat pump. So we select that. And we say OK. So what happens here? It populates system number 1, and this is where we get the capacities for heating and cooling. What are those? Heating is 43, cooling is 57. This rounds up, so 43 and 57. I think if we put 57.5, it goes to the next one. Yeah, so I just enter the next higher number, 57. It does require an economizer, and you fill that in. There's no supplementary fan other than the fan that comes with it, so we say none. Proposed efficiency, this is the minimum efficient, so we got to be at 7.7 and 13. I know this is an 8. The SEER is the rating of air conditioning units, and it's a 16, so I enter a 16 there. And we're done entering information. So this is all information that's in the drawings. And now we're going to print our report. We hit the print button, and it says, what information do I want? Well, I know I don't want the envelope compliance because that's the architectural side. I want the interior lighting compliance, the exterior lighting compliance, and the mechanical compliance. It says it won't let me print it unless I select yes or no. So it says, will these reports be submitted for approval? The answer is yes. This would be part of the submittal package for the permit office. And I click OK. And it gives me a PDF that I have to populate. And the reason I enter the information is because down at the bottom here, it puts the name of the file. So I want this to match the project name, which is Homes Finder, and there it is. The information we enter alteration, and look at that. When I put Carteret Street, I forgot the T. So I'm gonna close this, and it disappears. So I go back over here to the project tab and make sure I edit the project details, and I put the T in there. I'm gonna print it again. Hopefully there's no more errors. Don't forget to check the yes. Okay. It comes out again. And it's gonna need, these little errors need to be populated. So what happens here is we're in a PDF. I'm gonna say fill and sign. I do this for every sheet. So the total wattage meets yes. Daylighting. And this is where it's almost always not applicable. And a daylight, it's building with skylights that when it's too bright outside, the lights dim on their own. That's not the case here. It's something called daylight harvesting. You may have noticed in some buildings that sometimes the lights turn off in the middle of the day. It's because they on purpose put skylights in there to try to save money. First project that comes to mind is Walmart. If you notice, start noticing these things. Start looking up and see how things are built. It helps. But if you notice at Walmart, sometimes you're walking around and the lights up there turn off because it's a really nice bright day, and so they're taking advantage of Outdoor lighting. Also, if you have like there's a light sensor somewhere that notices, just like your automatic lights in your vehicle. When it gets dark enough, the lights come on because it's too dark, and so you never have to worry about when to turn them on or off. It just knows. Same thing with this thing. So that's page one. It only does one page at a time when you edit. So I gotta get out of this and go to page two and continue editing. So go to page two, do fill and sign, and this is very typical of projects. The way these are filled out. Four is always a check because basically we're saying yes, every unit has its own switch. Item number five, master switch at entry of hotel room. Well, that's not applicable because there's not a hotel. Individual dwelling units metered separately. That's not applicable. It's talking about each apartment has to have its own meter within a apartment building. This is obviously not apartment building. Number seven says medical task lighting, blah blah blah. So obviously does not apply because this is not a medical office. I'm just going to move these notes nearer to where they should be, and they sort of line up neatly. This thing doesn't line them up for you, so you kind of gotta make them look neat. All right, moving on to eight. Each base has required to have manual control for reducing lighting. That's accomplished with dimmer switchers, so that's okay. Automatic lighting shut-off control for buildings larger than 5,000 square feet. This is not applicable. Photocell astronomical time switch on exterior lights. That's always a yes. And this one's always an unapplicable because it refers to a fixture that nobody uses anymore. Applicable. Tandem wire, one lamp, and three lamp ballasted luminaires. What that means is those are fluorescent fixtures that nobody installs anymore because everybody puts LEDs in. All right, so this is what we did, and this is the part where I say yes, I certify that that's correct. Under I'm not going to jail by saying this if I'm wrong, but I could get I could get what's the word? Well, I could get in trouble for lying about stuff, you know, with the engineers board. My name in there because it makes me look important. Signature and date. So I'll go to sign. I actually have a signature saved up. I put it on top of my name and I make it as big as my name because that's how important I am. I want a big signature, and I'm over here. The date, I wanted to match here. It remembers the last thing I did, which was yesterday. So I'm going to change that and add initials. It's a place for initials, but I figure out that if you use um numbers, you can just do the date. So today is 01 over 17 over 18. Apply. And it puts it there. So next time I come back here, it's going to save that, and I have to save that signature. I have multiple signatures for multiple types of things. So there's 7 pages. We're done with page 2. This one's fairly easy. Everything's just about yes. Exterior lighting. We'll go to fill and sign. Okay, so fill and sign opens the sheet number 3 for editing. Yes, within each non-tradable surface, watts must be less than or equal to the allowed watts. Well, the answer is yes, because otherwise we wouldn't comply. All exception claims are associated. I mean, on and on, right? Everything's controlled by a photosensor, yes. And that's page 3, because the top of the page is where the information is there, so that one was easy. Page 4, fill and sign. Lighting designated dusk to dawn is controlled by astronomical time. We're going to say yes, that's the photocell timer. All switches are capable of retaining the programming when they lose power. We're going to say yes. And I'm going to hit escape to make this disappear. And then put the mark. All exterior building grounds luminaires that operate at a wattage greater than 100 watts have a minimum efficacy of 60 lumens per watt. Well, that's some energy requirement for high wattage fixtures. 100 watts is high wattage these days. It used to be, but it is now. Well, if you remember, the outdoor fixtures are 30 watts. So this is a non-applicable. Wood door with exterior lighting. This is again, I come and certify this. My name, my signature, and this has to be filled out by the design professional. I don't put my seal on it because the people reviewing it know who I am. So some people may make me put my seal on it. And this is a service I like to start providing for others who don't like doing it. It's an hour worth of work, and if I could start selling the service to people who don't like doing it, that'd be pretty cool. Page 5, fill and sign. This is where we talk about the air conditioning unit. It's the mechanical compliance sheet. Information stays the same. I have one system, and as the description that we entered earlier. And then here's where we certify that yes, it meets the minimum efficiency. It has an integrated economizer, which it needs to, and the cooling system gets rid of the outside excess air. Yes, I didn't oversize the system. It does have a temperature control device. Yes, it has a humidity control device, which is usually part of the thermostat, humidistat. I've done the calculations. Thermostat can has basically this talks about programmable thermostats. Outside air, it's capable of reducing itself when not required. I always say yes. The ducts are insulated properly. Of course, the answer is yes. And we're done here. There's no signature here because this is a 2-page report. So I bet you on page 6 I'm going to have to sign it. So I'll move down to page 6, fill and sign. And we'll go out again. Put mechanical fasteners and seal the ducts in the right place. Insulate hot water pipe. And this is more for when you heat the building with hot water rather than with refrigerant and compression. But I always check that. You're supposed to provide the operation manual to the owner when you're finished, and that's not part of what we do. That's part of the air conditioning guy, installer. Everything needs to be balanced. And here's a non-applicable. This talks about high occupancy buildings where more than 40 people per 1,000 square feet. In this case, is 5,000 per square feet because it's an office. So this is a non-applicable. 13, and then we go to 14. Motorized dampers, and this is where the exhaust of the bathrooms would be. Our dampers are not motorized because we fit under the exception here that we're in the 3 stories. So basically, is when you turn the fan off, when you turn the fan on for the outside, this little door opens, the air escaping opens the little door, and then when you turn the fan off, the little door closes, not letting air back in. On larger buildings, you need a mechanical device controlling that. Automatic control, 15, automatic controls for freeze protection. Yes, each air conditioning system doesn't let itself freeze. When it's too cold outside, and it has a built-in heater that doesn't let it freeze, even when it's heating your house. Then 16, exhaust heat recovery for systems of 5,000 CFM or greater. We don't have anything like that, so that's not applicable, at least not in this project. That's it. And last signature. So I'm going to write my name again. Signature. I put it on top of this one. And I stretch it. And I go to the signature and put the date on there. And I'm done. Now, I can't close it because when I hit print, it printed as some generic report. Compliance report, 2018-01-17, 12-17-24. I think that's the time, I guess. Right? Yeah. So I printed it 10 minutes ago. And I don't know what the 754 is. I need to save it as Home Finders, right? As Home Finders. Oh, let me exit out of the edit page. So I got my whole thing signed, filled in, etc. So I'm going to save it to the Homes Finder folder. How do I do that? I either close it and says, hey, dude, do you want to save the changes? I'm going to say yes. and this is where it is right now. Some COMcheck temporary folder, but that's not where I'm going. I'm going choose a different folder. I'll go to the Dropbox. I'll look here the Dropbox. Goodness, put my projects. Then I go to that projects which was called 2A Carteret. I go to the COMcheck, and I already have it there because if you recall, I changed the name of it. I double click on it. Hey, that already exists. Are you sure you want to replace it? The answer is yes. And I'm done. COMcheck finished. I can come back to the COMcheck program, and I can make sure one last time that I save it and exit. Now let's go to the folder, make sure it's there. Homes Finder COMcheck, edited on the 17th of this year, today at 12:29, which was a few seconds ago. I'm going to open it. I'm just going to go through it real quick, make sure I didn't miss anything, and make sure that basically that it's signed. To be honest with you, I don't know how many code officials actually read the thing and verify. The last part, I didn't sign and seal this part or sign this part because this is post-construction compliance statement. That's something somebody else, after the building is finished, is going to have to say. This was done. The record drawings of the actual installation were provided to the owner. Operation and maintenance documents were provided to the owner by the mechanical contractor, and a balance report was done. I can't say right now that this was done because this happens at the end of the project. Somebody else will have to sign that, and it's never not once that's come back to me for me to do it. Mainly, it's not part of our regular scope. We don't do post construction stuff. I'll be happy to do it, but I'd have to that be a separate fee. We're done. That's a COMcheck report. This concludes how to do a COMcheck report.